This is Matador News, and here are today's headlines. Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe resigns after 37 years.
Drumstick, you are hereby pardoned.
President Trump pardons 2 turkeys in celebration of Thanksgiving. Good afternoon and welcome to Matador News.
I'm Jiani Navarro.
And I'm Morgan Ball. In Zimbabwe, people are celebrating after their leader of 37 years, Robert Mugabe, resigned.
The fact is this, the military has spoken, the people have spoken, parliament has spoken, his own party has spoken. So there's nothing left, he's all by himself. So even if it takes 1 more week or 2 more weeks, as the people of Zimbabwe, we know that it's time for him to go.
Last week's military takeover and impending impeachment were ultimately the reasons for the 93-year-old's resignation. The announcement was made at a joint session of the Zimbabwe parliament. Speakers read a letter from the former leader, and lawmakers applauded and cheered. The loss of power came when a military coup was launched after Mugabe fired his former vice president. Political opponents suspected Mugabe fired the VP to make a clear space for his wife and the Zimbabwe government, whom many citizens despised because of her lavish lifestyle and political ambitions. Mugabe has been the only leader of the southern African nation since it gained independence from Britain in 1980.
At least 50 people are dead after a suicide bomb attack in a mosque in northern Nigeria. The attack happened in the city of Mugabe as worshippers were gathering for their morning prayers. Many people were injured and taken to nearby hospitals, making the attack the worst suicide attack in the Mugabe area in months. Police say the bomber was 17 years old. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack, but jihadist group Boko Haram has carried out hundreds of deadly attacks on mosques in the past. The group is also known to frequently use children to carry out the bombings.
The United Nations Secretary General says he is horrified by CNN reports seeming to show African migrants being auctioned off as slaves in Libya. Secretary General Antonio Guterres says this may amount to crimes against humanity.
In recent days, we have all been horrified by images of African migrants being sold as goods in Libya. It is our collective responsibility to stop these crimes.
A CNN team traveled to Libya last month to obtain footage. The footage shot secretly seems to show a dozen men being sold at an auction outside of the capital city, some for as little as $400. Refugee experts say this may be happening because it is getting harder for refugees leaving Africa and Asia to get to Europe safely. The UN Refugee Agency says last year more than 65 million people were forced to leave their homes due to war, violence, or famine.
A reward of up to $20,000 is being offered to anyone who has any information on who killed a Border Patrol agent and his injured partner. Agent Marissa Martinez and his partner were found late Saturday in southwest Texas. Martinez died from his injuries Sunday morning, while his partner, who has not been identified, remains in serious condition. The 2 Border Patrol agents suffered traumatic head injuries and broken bones. Martinez and his partner were patrolling the area that runs along the U.S.-Mexican border when Martinez reported they were both injured and needed help. Mexican officials have expressed their regret and sent condolences to the families of the victims.
The Argentinian Navy says they're expanding their search efforts for the submarine that's been missing for almost a week and may quickly run out of oxygen. 7 different vessels are searching for the sub and its 44-member crew off Argentina's South Atlantic coast. The ARA San Juan submarine and the Navy lost contact 6 days ago after the captain reported a battery system failure. Argentinian Navy spokesman said the search area is twice the size of Buenos Aires, Argentina's capital. The submarine's last known location was in the San Jorge Gulf off southern Argentina's Patagonia region.
Charlie Rose's career with CBS and PBS has come to an end after sexual harassment allegations. CBS This Morning co-anchor Gayle King says Rose's actions have affected many people at CBS.
What do you say when someone that you deeply care about has done something that is so horrible? How do you wrap your brain around that? I'm really grappling with that. That said, Charlie does not get a pass here. He doesn't get a pass from anyone in this room. We are all deeply affected.
CBS has suspended Rose after the Washington Post published a story based on interviews with multiple women who describe unwanted sexual advances. Shortly after the story appeared, more women came out describing inappropriate encounters while working with Rose. Earlier today, CBS executives determined it was impossible for Rose to return to the show CBS This Morning. And shortly after CBS's announcement, PBS also ended its relationship with Rose along with canceling distribution of his programs. A number of CBS News personalities are expected to fill his chair until a new anchor is named.
President Trump says he will end the temporary protected status designation for Haitians in the U.S. by July 2019. This course of action could force thousands of Haitian immigrants to leave or to remain in the states without legal documents. TPS allowed Haitians to live in the U.S. after a major earthquake struck the island in 2010. In more Trump news, the U.S. president spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin for about an hour today, just one day after Putin's meeting with Syrian dictator Bashar Assad. Putin updated Trump on his talks with Assad and their plans for Syrian political settlement. White House representatives say the two leaders talked about Syria, Iran, North Korea, and Ukraine. And President Trump's plan to stop funding to so-called sanctuary cities has been blocked by a federal court. This decision is a setback for the Trump administration in their efforts to stop protection of undocumented immigrants.
Animal rights activists are outraged over recent decisions made by the Trump administration. Matador News reporter Marissa Martinez has more on the story.
Thanks, Jiani. Animal activists aren't the only ones outraged. Celebrities and politicians have poured their concerns on the endangered elephants that got the Trump administration's attention. In a surprise move, the Trump administration has postponed its recent decision to allow hunters to bring elephant trophies back to the U.S. from Africa. President Trump says by lifting the ban, he can focus on reviewing all conservation facts. Some CSUN students say they hope he won't change his mind again.
I think it's kind of gross because elephants are on the endangered species list and people are importing their ivory just to look at it, so you're killing animals just to have something to look at in your house. So it's kind of gross that he's uplifting that ban, and he's doing it just despite Obama. So
I think it's really messed up because they're endangered and there might not be any more left, so we should really take care of them instead of trying to kill all of them off.
It's materialistic and it's at the fault of a species that's already struggling to survive. So I think that's poor judgment on Trump's part.
A wildlife survey says African elephants' population declined 30% between 2007 and 2014. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service are now issuing import licenses to people who want to hunt in Africa to decrease the death tolls of elephants. Now let's go to Thomas Rodriguez with the latest in health.
Thanks. An Ugandan inventor has had a breakthrough in fighting pneumonia. UNICEF says 500,000 children die every year in sub-Saharan Africa. This led Ugandan inventor Brian Turiobaye to create a biomedical smart jacket that can diagnose pneumonia 4 times faster than a doctor. The jacket, Mama Hope, or Hope for the Mother, measures the chest, body temperature, heart rate, and lung condition. The information is then sent via Bluetooth to a smartphone app. The jacket is still currently in the prototype phase. A breast cancer study finds tumors in overweight women are likely to be larger as a result of them being harder to find in the early stages of development. The researchers say women who are overweight should consider shorter time intervals between screenings. Larger tumors also tend to carry a worse prognosis. The study, conducted by a Swedish research team, involved more than 2,000 women who developed breast cancer between 2001 and 2008. Now let's go to Erika Villalvazo with the latest in business.
Thank you. IKEA is reminding customers who still have recalled dressers that they need to be fastened to a wall or they may tip and fall. The reminder is part of the company's re-announcement of a 2016 recall of many of its dressers and chests following reports of injuries and deaths of children. The most recent death was in May when a 2-year-old boy became trapped by an IKEA mom dresser that was not fastened to the wall. There have been 300 reports of mom dressers and other brands tipping, resulting in more than 100 injuries. Owners of the recall dressers should stop using them if they are not attached to a wall and should contact IKEA. Internet neutrality is under threat again. Federal regulators are unveiling a new plan giving internet providers the power to determine what websites and online services their customers can see and use. The FCC's Republican chairman, Ahit Pai, wants to undo the government's current net neutrality rules that would give companies such as AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast more control. The decision will be put to a vote at the agency's December 14th meeting in Washington, and it is expected to pass, with Republicans controlling 3 of the commission's 5 seats. Let's check back with Thomas for news and sports.
Thanks. The Celtics win another comeback game to push their winning streak to 16 games after beating the Dallas Mavericks 110-102 on the road. With 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, the Celtics trailed by 5 points. But Kyrie Irving kept his team in the game. After a series of wild passes and rebounds, Irving was found wide open by his teammates for the 3-point shot. But they still trailed by 3, and J.J. Barea got the crowd on their feet after evading Al Horford and driving to the rim to push the lead back to 5. After forcing a steal with just a minute to play, Irving fed Jason Tatum on the drive to tie the game at 96 to force overtime. Irving capped off his spectacular night when he backed off Yogi Ferrell to the paint and got fouled as he hit that sweet finger roll. Irving had 47 points on the night and continues his MVP performance on the season. The Celtics need just 3 more wins to tie their franchise record in consecutive wins. The Knicks were customers of the Clippers in recent years, losing 10 straight games to LA, but that all changed last night. The Clips were riding an 8-game losing streak, and with Patrick Beverley back in the fold after missing time and injury, it wasn't enough to end the suffering. Tim Hardaway Jr. scored off the pick seconds left before the break to give the Knicks a 14-point lead heading into halftime. But down by 17 in the fourth quarter, Doug McDermott hit a wide-open 3-pointer to put the dagger on the dispirited Clipper team. Blake Griffin hit a low point in the season after being fouled out with just 5 minutes to play in the game. Many fans are asking for Doc Rivers to be fired just a month into the new NBA season, but Beverley told reporters after the game that he won't allow this type of team attitude to continue and that they need to play better. The Atlanta Falcons visited the Seattle Seahawks for Monday Night Football, and Matty Ice Ryan kept his cool throughout the game. Ryan got his second touchdown of the night after finding Levine Toilulu open in the end zone to push the lead to 11 in the third quarter. But the Seahawks, you can't count them out just yet. Russell Wilson cut the lead to 3 points after a 29-yard pass to Doug Baldwin for the touchdown. The Seahawks managed to get the ball back and were in position for a 52-yard field goal attempt, but Blair Walsh's kick was just inches short, and the Seahawks couldn't force overtime. With the win, Atlanta has put themselves in the NFC playoff picture, knocking out the Seahawks for the moment. Let's check back with Erika with the latest in entertainment.
Looking for your happy place? Look no further than the new installation in the Arts District of downtown LA. Happy Place is a pop-up exhibit featuring a giant rainbow, pots of gold, a candy room, and massive selfie opportunities. It also features a series of art chambers such as an upside-down bedroom and a confetti dome. Some might find Happy Place's admission price to be not so happy at a price of $28.50. Similar unusual art installments in LA, such as the Museum of Ice Cream and Infinity Mirrors, have drawn huge crowds of Instagrammers. Happy Place runs through today till January 7th. Kevin Hart is a dad again. He and his wife, model Iniko Parrish, have welcomed a baby boy this morning. Kenzo Cash Hart is the couple's first child after being together for several years and tying the knot back in 2016. The name Kenzo is of Japanese origin, meaning strong and healthy. Hart has 2 children from a previous marriage, a 12-year-old named Heaven and a 10-year-old son, Hendrix. You might think students are thankful to take a break for Thanksgiving, but you'll be surprised to hear that they are truly thankful for. Matter News reporter Ambar Rodriguez has a story.
Thank you, Erika. After a year of roller coaster events, from a new president to hurricanes to earthquakes, some CSUN students say they have a lot to be thankful for this holiday season.
This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for the fact that I have a family, a roof over my head, and food in my stomach every night.
This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for my family.
For the chance of having an education. I know in a lot of places there's not a lot of opportunities for people to be able to educate themselves or go beyond the high school, or education at all. So I guess, that's the thing that I'm thankful for education.
Just thankful for just breathing, because everybody could be dead at some point. So that's all I'm thankful for.
That's right. Some CSUN students are grateful for more than just a day off. Record-breaking temperatures are expected across Southern California during Thanksgiving week. Let's go back to Jiani in the studio for weather.
Temperatures are expected to rise throughout the week, with Wednesday and Thursday being the hottest days. Today it's 89 degrees in Northridge and sunny. Tomorrow is going to be even warmer. Burbank is expected to reach highs of 94 degrees on Wednesday and 90 degrees on Thursday, which would break records set in 1950. Pomona is going to hit 93 degrees on Wednesday and 92 degrees on Thursday, which would also shatter a record of 87 degrees set in 1954.
The White House had 2 unlikely guests this morning. The annual White House Thanksgiving tradition continues after President Trump pardons Drumstick and Wishbone the turkeys.
Okay. Drumstick, you are hereby pardoned.
People voted on Twitter in the White House poll for which turkey they liked best, and 36-pound drumstick was the most popular, with 60% of the votes over Wishbone, who scored a mere 40%. Trump, First Lady Melania, and their son Barron attended the event in the White House Rose Garden. Both turkeys were raised on a Minnesota turkey farm, and they will now go live at Gobbler's Rest on Virginia Tech's campus.
That's all the news for today. I'm Jiani Navarro.
And I'm Morgan Ball. Thank you for watching Matador News, and have a happy Thanksgiving.